This live stream brought to you by the Excelsior Citizen and these generous sponsors. The Simmons Sales Team, your hometown realtors. Our Excelsior Springs Hospital, where better care is right in your backyard. Find out how you can advertise with Excelsior Springs' #1 community resource. Visit excelsiorcitizen.com today.
Pray, Father, that you would grant each of us wisdom and discernment and help the decisions that are made to be for the best interest of all that it will affect. Thank you for those who are serving, and just be with them in your kindness and grace. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, Shannon.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilman Spahn?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Okay, are there visitors here this evening that would like to address the council that aren't on the agenda? Do you have anything you want to say to us, Doug?
Doug Ritchie, state rep right now for the 38th district, soon to be the 39th district. But I will be having a hearing coming up sometime in September and probably October as well to follow the Fed stimulus funds to make sure that we're seeing progress in those grant buckets that were created. Discuss that with most of you, I think. We just want to make sure that, like on the projects that we are most interested in, that we're able to see adequate movement in terms of getting those dollars released in a timely fashion so we can get some things done as far as the localized flooding issues in downtown Excelsior, as well as Hollow Waters, the building within which we're standing right now. So I'm hoping to see that moving efficiently, and to the extent that we can help with that, we will be doing so. But that's kind of where we're at currently. We're needing to wait to allow the departments to allow the vetting of the applications as they're now being received, and we'll go from there. So I think that's probably the most pressing thing as it stands currently. So I don't know if you guys have any questions on that, but
No,
I can send you a copy of our applications if that's beneficial.
that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
We appreciate all of your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, minutes of the work session of July 18th, the budget work session.
I move that we approve the minutes of the budget work session from July 18th.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon.
Councilman Spahn?
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Okay, minutes of the regular city council meeting of July 18th, 2022.
I move that we approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting of July 18th, 2022.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Councilman Spahn?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Okay, consideration of agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the consideration of agenda.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Councilman Spahn?
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Okay, the first item on our agenda is the presentation of the State of the City address. And this is the address that all of the mayors from the cities of Clay County gave a State of the City address a couple of weeks ago. And so this is what we said about our city. Growing our economy. We are proud to say that one of our local families have excelled in their business, and they shared their success with the community by building, this got too big. Hold on, let me get it smaller. How did that happen?
Do you want mine?
Yeah, it got huge. By building a new state-of-the-art building. Miller Cabinet celebrated their grand opening in October, and by the way, they were awarded the Keystone Award from the county in December. Their investment enabled the city to leverage $1 million in grants to not only improve the roadway access to their new plant, but to fix an intersection that has been a problem since it was built. Their old building will be repurposed to accommodate an apparel manufacturer. This building is a new business to our city. The Elms Hotel, now under the Hyatt management, just completed a $2 million investment with improvements to common spaces. When you visit the Elms, you will see a remodeled restaurant, a coffee shop by day and a wine bar by night that has been added to the lobby. Event spaces, carpeting, lighting, and furniture can be seen remodeled throughout, along with a refresh to all of the rooms. Our downtown continues to attract new investment, in part due to intelligent marketing strategies and good old-fashioned hard work. We host over 100 event days per year. Thank you to the Downtown Excelsior Partnership for your continued efforts in this area. The uses of 353s have been a great tool to help incentivize property investment and has been a factor in the elimination of blighting influences. We have approved 20 353 projects. The most recent includes Casa de Vite, a wine bar and event venue, and Pairings Van Til, also an event venue and wine bar. With small plates, it has quickly become a local favorite destination for friends to gather over good wine and delicious food. These properties really fit into our spirit to have fun in awesome places with old and new friends. Please come visit us soon. Commercial development represents $20 million in investments last year. Growing our community. This year's residential sellers market had several developers scrambling to get new housing built to ease the housing market. Just this year, we had more than 25 new housing permits, and they are planning new subdivisions and building on infill lots. New community assets. The Park Foundation raised $80,000 over the past 4 years as a match for an LWCF grant, plus $150,000 from capital improvements sales tax to convert an old-fashioned neighborhood pool into a brand new splash park. This not only eliminated a blighting influence, but it created a great new splash park free to the public to be enjoyed by our youngest residents. Rainbow Splash Park is in full operation this summer and is already a family favorite. Last year, we elected to refinance our community center bonds, which provided enough financing to build Phase 2 of our community center. Phase 2 will be an 8-lane competition-style pool that will open in late 2023. The pool will have a removable dome that will support pool use year-round. We want to thank the Clay County Commission. They approved an allocation of ARPA funds to move the storm drainage for the community center to Century Park Pond, located just south of the community center. This allows the campus to expand so the pool can be located on site. Improvements in the pond will also help relieve downstream flooding in area neighborhoods. The city received a Saving America's Treasures grant providing $1 million to address structural issues at the Hall of Waters. The Hall of Waters is a centerpiece for our tourism industry and the location for many community celebrations. We look forward to completing these important improvements. We have just completed a grant-funded second digester at our wastewater treatment plant, providing much-needed redundancy in treatment train. Additionally, Clay County provided ARPA funds to enable us to complete a much-needed watershed study of the Fishing River, which is the source of repeated flooding in our downtown. The study in this early stages, but so far we have completed a computer model of the watershed so that we can begin to see what projects could be built to ease impacts from flooding. We are proud to have received the gold level for Communities for All Ages, a strategy for community improvement promoted by Mark. Additionally, Excelsior Springs is the first city in the nation to receive silver recognition through the Communities of Excellence 2026 Assessment and Recognition Program. This is the highest level of recognition currently awarded through the program. The effort to receive this recognition was led by Thrive Excelsior, a community coalition seeking to increase quality of life and the lifespan of residents in Excelsior Springs. We have been participating in this program for the last 3 years using the Baldrige Framework for Community Leadership, a national learning collaborative. The Communities of Excellence program is currently in consideration for the 7th category of the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award, designated by Congress and coordinated through the U.S. Department of Commerce's National Institute of Standards and Technology. We made an intentional choice to pursue this work. It is the difference between putting out fires or preventing them. Taking care of business. Our continued work with KCADC, Clay County EDC, and other Clay County communities provides an opportunity to receive confidential leads for business expansions. We completed a compensation study earlier this year. Using these results, we have achieved market rate salaries for our city personnel. We are pleased to continue working with Ameren and ENEL in a program that pays us to take our water and wastewater treatment plants off the grid during peak energy days, and I think we've done that a couple of times this year. Thank you to Ameren for the opportunity to make money and to ease the energy demand when needed.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Very good.
Very nice.
And that isn't all we did, but they only gave us 5 minutes. So we were lucky to get that. Agenda item number 2 is consideration of an agreement with the Credit Bureau System for EMES billing collections.
We're going to ask to table this again
Okay.
because we have new information. So we'll bring it to the next council meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Agenda item number 3 is consideration of 2022 Streetscapes project.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The city published a request for bids for the construction of the 2022 Streetscape project in the beginning of July. We held a pre-bid meeting on July 18th, and the bids were due and opened on July 25th, 2022 at 2 p.m. 2 bids were received, with Metro Asphalt being the lowest bid at $665,550.75. The engineer's estimate was $766,867. So with those numbers, it was a very good bid. Lamprey Nearson has verified the bid tab and it is attached. We've worked with Metro Asphalt in the past on several overlay projects and have found them to be a very qualified contractor. Lamprey Nearson's letter of recommendation is also attached in the agreement, the notice of award for Metro Asphalt. The project budget consists of $800,000 allocation from Trans Trust that was back on March 14th of 22, plus $57,878 from Mark through the Missouri CRRSA Act. Since then, you've approved a contract with Lamprey Nearson for design and contract administration for a lump sum of $47,400. This leaves $810,478 for the construction phase of the project. At this time, we recommend that the project be awarded to Metro Asphalt for the bid amount of $665,550.75 upon approval from the City Council. A resolution is attached for your approval of the attached agreement. Any questions? And I will note what the work is the mill and overlay in the Westwood Hills subdivision. That whole area will be milled and overlaid. We're going to try to regain the curbs because it's been overlaid in the past. More than likely we'll have some change orders in this project because a lot of those curbs can't be assessed until the asphalt gets off there. There is money put into it, into a force account too, but more than likely you're going to see additional money in there. And hopefully with the bids that we received, we have areas for some change and to improve them. Other areas we're going over to Cherry Hills and doing base repairs. For all those areas in that street, in that little subdivision of Cherry Hills where the cracks are across it, where we have some utility sinks, sunken spots, and some curb depressions, those will be pulled out too. It won't be a full mill and overlay, but those base repairs will all be a mill and overlay of about 3 inches in those cracks. And then the last areas are H Highway, or the old H Highway, which we got from MoDOT, and in Highway, the portions that are inside Excelsior Springs, and those will also be base repairs in preparation for a granite chip seal next year. So that's the scope of the project.
Chad, I know a lot of people in my neighborhood did curb cuts over time because of the slope and stuff like that. Is
Right.
that going to impact them somehow? I mean, it doesn't seem like necessarily would.
It shouldn't. In some areas where there's old style curbs in there, so some of the areas of lazy back are very lazy, and other areas are very steep lazy back. In some of those areas where the curb asphalt is in the pan, they may have a higher of a bump to get into the car, into the driveway. But a lot of it, what happens when they do that is it's a much cheaper way to overlay the street because you're not doing any of the milling, but you lose the capacity of stormwater in the curb pans.
Right.
So that creates flooding in some instances with especially coming down Virginia Road, where the water, once it gets to a certain level, starts spilling over into the driveway. So it creates problems for that.
Okay.
So it's not a total reconstruction. Total reconstruction will be quite a bit more money and replace all the curbs to current standards. But we're going to try to get as much of it fixed as we can. Any other questions?
Okay, consideration of a resolution for the 2022 streetscape project with Metro Asphalt.
I make a motion, we approve resolution number 1365, consideration of 2022 streetscape project with Metro Asphalt.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Kowalski,
Abstain.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear,
Yes.
Mayor Powell.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Agenda item number 4, an ordinance authorizing the City of Excelsior Springs to enter into a farm lease agreement for land near the Excelsior Springs Municipal Airport.
So this one is, we sent the bid form to 16 local farmers. We have 26 acres to farm, and as you can see, the bid that came in from one bidder was $75 an acre. This is an increase from the previous bid, so when you see the next bid, there seems to be some room to increase. But this is the one bid that we received.
Any questions? Okay, an ordinance authorizing the City of Excelsior Springs to enter into a farm lease agreement for land near the Excelsior Springs Municipal Airport.
I move that we take ordinance number 22-08-01 to second reading.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear,
Yes.
Mayor Powell.
Yes. An ordinance authorizing the City of Excelsior Springs to enter into a farm lease agreement for land near the Excelsior Springs Municipal Airport.
Go ahead.
I move we approve ordinance number 22-08-01, consideration of farm ground lease for airport acreage.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Kowalski,
Yes.
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear,
Yes.
Mayor Powell.
Yes. Agenda item number 5, an ordinance authorizing the City of Excelsior Springs to enter into a farm lease agreement for the land near the Excelsior Springs Hillcrest Cemetery.
So there's 15 acres to be farmed at Hillcrest Cemetery, and the one bid we received is $165 an acre. I'm gonna assume that it's just better conditions because the airport's got a lot of depressed areas, and anyway, those are the bids.
Any questions? Okay. An ordinance authorizing the City of Excelsior Springs to enter into a farm lease agreement for the land near the Excelsior Springs Hillcrest Cemetery.
I move we take ordinance number 22-08-02 consideration of farm ground lease of Hillcrest Cemetery to second reading.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear,
Yes.
Mayor Powell.
Yes. An ordinance authorizing the city of Excelsior Springs to enter into a farm lease agreement for land near the Excelsior Springs Hillcrest Cemetery.
I make a motion, we approve ordinance number 22-08-02, consideration of farm ground lease for Hillcrest Cemetery acreage.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski,
Yes.
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear,
Yes.
Mayor Powell.
Yes. Okay, agenda item number 6 is an ordinance amending the city code chapter 210 related to dangerous dogs. Who wants to address
I
this?
think Paul's going to
Paul?
address this.
You gonna address it?
We're all sort of.
Took the hint.
So this ordinance does a couple things. I think primarily what it does is it repeals the breed-specific pit ban, or pit bull ban, I should say. Repeals that definition of pit bull and repeals the section that prohibits pit bulls. It then amends the section that exists in the city code regarding dangerous dogs. And conceptually what it does is it creates 3 different types of dogs. One is a potentially dangerous dog, the other is just a dangerous dog, and then a vicious dog. The definition of a potentially dangerous dog is primarily based upon demonstrated what a normal, reasonable person would perceive as aggressive behavior. Okay, you kind of know it when you see it growling and charging, that sort of thing. But there's no bite that occurs with a potentially dangerous dog. A dangerous dog does cause a bite injury, but it's not of a serious nature. Many people here have probably been bitten, didn't go to the hospital or have an ambulance call, but it wasn't very pleasant. And then you have a vicious dog, which is a bite injury that does result in serious physical injury or even death. And that's what we would typically think of as mauling. The dog mauls somebody. Each of those determinations is going to be made by the animal control folks. And they do carry consequences because once your dog gets labeled one of these 3, then there's certain behavior modifications. And so we do have what we call due process. So there'll be a notice to the dog owner, an opportunity for the dog owner to plead his or her case to the city manager as to why his or her dog should not be determined to be potentially dangerous, or vicious. I think, as I recall, there is even a provision that kind of a good behavior provision that after 2 years, if your dog, maybe not for vicious though, but for potentially dangerous and dangerous, if you haven't had any issues for a couple years, that dog owner can petition to have that determination revoked. Some of the consequences that attend to a determination of being dangerous would be, you got to be securely confined on the property, no invisible fences. If you leave your property, you're going to be on the leash with the muzzle, have it posted. There's going to be an insurance requirement because your dog has demonstrated a history of causing injury to someone else, which then could cause that person to incur medical expense and whatnot. So with the vicious dog, there's really no compromise. The dog gets put down. There's no room for that. So happy to answer any questions. This will go in effective immediately, as I recall.
It has a provision now for dangerous cats. Is that new to our ordinances?
That is new. That was specifically requested by the animal control folks, and that's probably not a provision that I don't think we really touched upon that during the work session. So we'll kind of see how that goes.
We might need to do some public education of that.
It kind of just bootstraps into the dog determination to apply it, dog insert cat. That was specifically requested. It was honestly.
I think we discussed it the night that we had the public open house discussing the dangerous
For the listening
dogs. So
post.
that's when that came to mind.
Okay.
That the animal control officers do sometimes deal with that too. So that's why it is included in this
Right.
ordinance.
No, thank you for
But it is new.
It is new, and it's a new one on me for that.
So anybody else that comes up to you can refer them to Excelsior Springs ordinance.
A lot of that probably has to do with how big the cat is too.
That's right.
Could be.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is an ordinance amending the City Code Chapter 210 related to dangerous dogs.
I move we take ordinance number 22-08-03, consideration for the amendment to Code 210 for dangerous dogs and cats, to second reading.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Kowalski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear,
Yes.
Mayor Powell.
Yes. Okay, an ordinance amending City Code Chapter 210 related to dangerous dogs.
I move that we approve ordinance number 22-08-03, consideration for amendment to City Code Chapter 210 for dangerous dogs.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear,
Yes.
Mayor Powell.
Yes. Okay, agenda item number 7 is an ordinance approving an addendum to the School Resource Officer Program with the Excelsior Springs School District number 40.
The city and the school district have a mutual interest in upgrading the emergency responder radio coverage in their new buildings. And we have prepared this attached agreement to address the coverage that is needed. Coverage in all other buildings was addressed when the city switched to the MAR system. The equipment selected to be installed will meet the city's fire code. And this code states that the new buildings shall have the radio coverage and give acceptable signal strength and booster requirements. I think that's really about it. Just a comment that we've been very pleased with the improved capabilities of the MAR system in our community. And this is really our first new building since the MAR system had been in place, and so we're not as quick to get everything installed as we'd hoped, so we're on it now.
Any questions?
We don't think we'll have this in place before school starts this year.
We don't think so, just supply as everything else, it's a supply question. But it has been ordered, spec'd and ordered, so.
An ordinance approving an addendum to the School Resource Officer Program with the Excelsior Springs School District number 40.
I make a motion we take ordinance number 22-08-04, consideration of addendum to the SRO program with ESSD, to second reading.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear,
Yes.
Mayor Powell.
Yes. An ordinance approving an addendum to the School Resource Officer Program with the Excelsior Springs School District number 40.
I move that we approve ordinance number 22-08-04, consideration of addendum to the SRO program with Excelsior Springs School District.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Agenda item number 8 is an ordinance allowing claims and appropriating to pay the same by issuing checks out of various funds of the city. Londa?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council. Appropriations is for a 2-week period that we have sent to you, and appropriations on 7/13/22, $262,322.04, and appropriations on 7/20/22, $105,612.44, and payroll on 7/29/22 of $327,627.29, for total appropriations for your approval of $695,561.77. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Okay, an ordinance allowing claims and appropriating to pay the same by issuing checks out of various funds of the city.
I move that we take ordinance number 22-08-05, consideration of appropriations, to second reading.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Councilman Spawn?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. An ordinance allowing claims and appropriating to pay the same by issuing checks out of various funds of the city.
Move that we approve ordinance number 22-08-05, consideration of appropriations.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Councilman Spawn?
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Vonda.
Okay, remarks by city manager?
If you'll look at your transmittals, it's got a couple of things I think that are of interest. The first one, OAC, really is the construction meeting with Royal Construction for Phase 2, and I thought it provided a new timeline for the construction and some information, dates and things like that you would find interesting. The second one is just a memorandum from the fire department that talks about protocols in an instance if they have a shortage of paramedics, and that plan has been approved by our medical director as well as the state agency that oversees advanced life support systems, and so that way they have a plan in place should that become necessary. And then the July court report, and just a reminder that August 16th is the employee luncheon. And someone has already mentioned that the national night out that was scheduled for tomorrow is being rescheduled due to heat.
Okay, Shannon, or Sonia, do you have anything?
No, Susan, I don't have anything tonight. We have so many S's.
We do. I struggle with the S's too.
Well, here's another one, Steve.
I just wanted to thank everyone that was involved in the ordinance around the dangerous dog. I know that was a lot of work, Paul, on your part, and Chief Dole on your part, getting feedback from animal control, but greatly appreciate all the effort that went into that.
Mark?
Ditto. I also want to thank Stephen for kind of bringing this to our attention and keeping it in front of us. I think it's an important ordinance, and I know his two pooches will appreciate the repeal on the pit bull ban.
Well, my dogs aren't pit bulls.
Well, they're not.
No, they're not.
Or the English bulldogs.
English bulldogs.
Okay. Well, they've got that
You have
genetic
anything?
characteristic of it.
Andrew has nothing, okay. Okay, we shall do this. At this time, the council has a need to enter into closed session, so I will entertain a motion. Want to read that?
Yes, I will. I move to close the meeting pursuant to section 610.021.2 RS Mo.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Is there any discussion? Would Would the city clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear,
Yes.
Mayor Powell.
Yes. Okay, the motion passes, so we are closed.
Recording stop.